Hi, today we're going to be covering measures and time signatures so that we can learn how to put together rhythms. Just to review, last week we went over some note values along with the rests that go with them. So this was a whole note, and that got 4 beats. This was the half note, which got 2 beats. If we take that note head and color it in, that gave us the quarter note, which got 1 beat. And then the rests that went along with these, the whole rest looked like this. The half rest was that just flipped over. And the quarter rest looked like that. So remember, the notes were for sound, and the rests were for silence. Okay, now that we've got that reviewed, let's see how these get organized into rhythms for music. Okay, so when you look at music, if you pick it up, you see a whole bunch of lines on the page, and then the notes are all over it, and there's some other stuff written in there, some other symbols. And then the lines are all divided up. It helps you count to remember where you are. So those sections are called measures. Okay, so a measure is what music is divided up into to help you keep your place and to organize the beats. And each measure will have the same number of beats in it. So remember, your beat is your pulse of the music, and so you should keep a steady beat so that they're all equally spaced apart. Okay, so measures are divided up by bar lines. Okay, so say at the beginning of your music you've got, this is called a treble clef. We'll learn about that more next week. So there's our clef. This will be a measure, a section, and then we'll have a bar line. Okay, so that's our bar line. This is all a measure. Okay, then you'll have another section, another measure. Right, measure right there. Then you'd get another bar line, and then you'd get another measure and another bar line, and so on until you were done. If our song or our rhythm were only 3 measures long, right, 1, 2, 3, then we'd be at the end of it. So we wouldn't use a regular bar line there. We would use a double bar line. So a double bar line has 2 lines, and the second one is doubly thick. So a double bar line means the end. Now sometimes you'll see this double bar line with 2 dots next to it like this. Those are repeat dots. And you do just what you think. You would repeat the whole thing once. Okay, so these are our measures. These are the bar lines. So bar lines divide up your measures. You don't need a bar line at the beginning. And then, like I said, at the end, you'll get this double bar line. Okay, so I said the measures are going to have the same number of beats in them. So you could sit there and count them out, but there's an easier way to know. Now I'm going to replace this with something else for our rhythm. There's an easier way to know what, how many beats we'll have in each measure, what we'll be counting. And so the most common one you'll see, which happens to also be called common time, is this 4/4, and this is called your time signature. And I'll be putting all of these definitions in the blog post that goes along with this video. So you can take notes or review, whichever you like, whichever you need. So time signature is this. It goes at the beginning of your piece, of your song, of your rhythm, whatever you have. A time signature will be at the beginning. So there are two numbers, 4, 4. Okay, and the top number tells you how many beats are going to be in each measure. So if you recall, the quarter note got 1 beat, right? So we can fit 4 of these quarter notes into our measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now this measure is filled with 4 beats. Okay? This measure also needs to have 4 beats. Okay, but let's make it less boring. Let's put something else in there. Our half notes were 2 beats each. So how many half notes can we fit in a 4-beat space? We can fit 1, 2. Right? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. This is how you'll count your rhythm. I know this doesn't get 4 beats, it gets just 1, but we will count 1, 2, 3, 4. And these get 2 apiece. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And then the half note got 4 beats. We can only fit 4 beats in there, so that's the only thing that can be in this measure. And we would count that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now this whole thing right here is a rhythm. Okay, it's got our time signature. We know what we're supposed to be counting. What we're supposed to be counting to. We're supposed to be counting 2, 4. And we've got these notes in here. Okay, so your rhythm is the pattern of the long and short notes that give you that. It's not really a song or music because there's no pitches to it, but it's just the pattern of notes there. You would clap them or play them on the drums or something like that. So if we were going to clap and count this, we would get 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I held my hand. I hold my hands together for these longer notes, right? Think if you were playing the piano, you would hold the key down for a longer note. If I didn't hold my hands together, if I wanted to pull my hands apart, 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, that would actually have rests in between these. Because remember, rests are for silence. Okay, so let me put these beats back in here. Let's see what this would sound like if I was going to sing it. Okay. La, 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 la. Then we would repeat and do the whole thing again if this were a repeat sign in your music. Okay, so that is our rhythm. Now I said the top number is how many beats per measure. It doesn't always have to be 4, although that is the most common you'll probably see. Sometimes it would be a 3, or a 2, or a 5, whatever. And then we can only have 3 beats per measure, so this is too many, we have to take one out. This is too many, we have to take one out. This is too many, we have to use a different note. We can't just take that out. So let's do this. Now that's 1, 2, 3. 3, 4 feels like a waltz. And when you dance in, you get the pa pa pa. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like that. So the top number is how many beats are in each measure. The bottom number here tells us what kind of note gets 1 beat? Well, we've learned that's a quarter note. That's why we're giving those the value of 1 beat, right? 1 plus 1 plus 1 makes our 3. But it won't always be a 4. But for now, we'll just use 4s on the bottom here. Just remember, it can change. It can be a different note that gets 1 beat. These numbers would be different, okay? So yeah, this all makes our rhythm, the pattern of the long and the short notes. Measures are the sections your music is divided up into, and your measures are separated by these bar lines here. The double bar line is this thing that tells you when you're at the end of your song. If you're supposed to do it again, it would get you your repeat dots. So let me show you what it would be like real quick with our repeats, since I hadn't done that yet. All right, we'll do this rhythm we've got right here. So 1, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. See how I went right to it? I didn't wait at all. It just comes right after. Okay, I hope that helps you learn how these all work, and we'll start getting into the notes on the staff next week. Like I said, I showed you that treble clef, the swirly thing, so I'll show you again what that is next time. If you have any questions about this, ask them in the comments. Find any rhythms you can and just clap them out or practice counting them. Play some drums or a pot or a bowl or something if you want to make it a little bit more fun. Thanks for watching.